gran evento. We are Empower Ed, somos Empower Ed. Estamos aquí para celebrar las experiencias que han moldeado nuestras aulas y nuestras comunidades. So can you give yourself an applause? Vamos a, okay, I got some snaps. You can snap too. That's fine. That's fine. So we're gonna get started. Vamos a ir iniciando. I'm gonna have Dominique come up here and just give us a warm Empower Ed, heartfelt, loving welcome to us all.
All right, good evening, amigos. Good evening. How are you? I am Dominique Moore. I am the community organizer for this beautiful organization, Empower Ed. So welcome. Thank you to all the people who registered and came out tonight. Thank you to all of our speakers who have decided to come out and share their stories and their passion and their love for teaching and those great educator stories. You may hear some laughs, you may hear some tear jerkers. Thank you for coming in advance. If you are not familiar with Empower Ed, if you ask me, Empower Ed is the biggest educational advocacy group in Washington, D.C. Representing, woo-woo, that deserves a round of applause. Yeah. We represent both DCPS and charter school teachers. We focus on teacher solutions and educator wellness. If you are interested, please, we have some sign-up sheets. We have some QR codes where you can find out where you can get registered with some fall educator opportunities. There's also some action steps that you can take if you are a community member or stakeholder and you would just like to be involved. But shout out to everybody who came out on a weeknight to celebrate teachers and Latiné Educator Lounge. So, without further ado, I'm going to pass it back over to Jackie, who helped facilitate and spearhead this beautiful event. So if you are here, if you are eating, if you heard the band, if you have a drink ticket, please make sure you thank Jackie, Carolina, and Gracie on your way out. We are also live streaming this event, so shout out to everybody in our virtual community. I know we have somebody tuned in all the way from Mexico, so we are really excited about that. So grab a drink ticket, make sure you embrace your community, do a community check-in, make sure everybody is well, and you all enjoy your evening, okay?
Thank you.
All right.
Muchas gracias, Dominique. Como saben, mi nombre es Jackie. I am Jackie from Empower Ed. You might have seen me on the social media. You might have seen me on all these videos. They keep telling me I have personality, so I don't know why they keep making me do videos. So we are all teachers. La mayoría aquí, the majority of us here, we are educators, yes? So I'm going to levanta tu mano if you're an educator. Yes, yes, welcome. Thank you so much for coming to this event. So just some rules, you know, we like to say, I was a pre-K teacher for many years in a dual language school. So we go, ojos, mirando, oídos, escuchando, cuerpo, tranquilo, yeah. Unless there's music, so the band will come back up after we have some speakers come out. Then you're welcome to come, you know, dance here, you got a partner, have fun. Okay. When we have our speakers, and we're going to ask you to kindly lower the volume of your conversation. Si estás hablando, solo respeto a los que están dando su historia, están contando. Conecta con esa persona, you know, go up to them afterwards, like, hey, I loved your story, give them a high five, give them a thumbs up, you know, anything. Just encourage us. We're here to encourage each other and to network above all things, right? Lastly, bathrooms are at the back if you need to use the restroom, just so you guys have some directives of what's going on here. And if you signed up to be a speaker and you were confirmed via text, via email, via my many messages, please check in with me if I have not greeted you yet so that I can know that you're here and I can get you on. So without further ado, sin más preámbulo, vamos a darle la bienvenida a nuestra primera contadora de historia. You guys can come closer, you know, I don't bite. Ella es una maestra de kinder. Can we give some snaps for kindergarten teachers? Because I know what they go through. They go through a lot. She's coming from Ward 6, Ludlow Elementary School. Give it up for Ward 6. Give it up for Ludlow. Su nombre es Lady Moreno, and she's here to share her story. Take it away, Lady.
Well, good evening, everybody. I hope that it's okay that I can do this speech in Spanish. I'm assuming that you understand Spanish. Okay. Cuando estaba pensando acerca de lo que quería compartir esta noche, muchos pensamientos llegaron a mi cabeza y empecé a sentir, a pensar que como educadora latina en DC, siento que siempre los estándares de productividad, de eficiencia, de calidad son extremadamente altos en comparación con lo que, digamos, yo viví en mi país. Soy originalmente de Colombia. Y ha sido muy diferente vivir y trabajar acá como educadora latina. Siento que ha traído ventajas y desventajas en el hecho de estar acá. Ventajas porque siento que he entrenado y mejorado mis habilidades de organización, de disciplina, de responsabilidad, de precisión, de atención al detalle. Porque pienso, a quien no le gusta tener un Google Drive organizado, en carpetas, en subcarpetas, color coded, a quien no le gusta tener su calendario supremamente distribuido por el mes, a quien maestro no le gusta tener un escritorio libre de todas las copias extras de actividades de la última semana, o a quien no le gusta haber construido rutinas y tradiciones en su clase que realmente sí funcionan. Sin embargo, siento que esta energía de organización ha pasado en mi rol a ser de organización a hipercontrol en muchos momentos por querer tener todo perfecto. Entonces el borde del tablero del pasillo tiene que estar completamente alineado, o a veces quiero dividir extremadamente diferentes materiales en mi salón que no tienen ninguna necesidad de estarlo. O quiero que todas mis presentaciones en Canva o en PowerPoint estén perfectas para las lecciones que voy a dar a mis estudiantes. Y todos estos son pequeños ejemplos de esa hiperactividad de control y el perfeccionismo que siento que se ha activado un poco desde que vivo y trabajo acá. Sin lugar a duda, tener sistemas de este tipo nos ayuda a estar organizados, a tener atención al detalle y son necesarios en nuestro rol como maestros, pero no son suficientes por sí solos, porque no sirve de nada tener una planeación completa para la siguiente semana si no nos hemos humanizado en nuestro rol. ¿De qué sirve tener todas esas rutinas si no tenemos espacio para la creatividad, para la imaginación, para la intuición? ¿De qué sirve que nuestros estudiantes tengan excelentes resultados en iReady y en Devils si no les permitimos ser soñadores, empáticos y sensibles? Y como maestra latina trato de recordarme esto día a día, el humanizarme en mi rol. Ese debe ser mi principal objetivo, mi principal rol. Humanizar la manera en cómo interactúo con mis estudiantes, el mirarlos a los ojos, cuando quieren compartirme algo sobre su fin de semana, el saludarlos cada mañana con buena energía, el compartirles experiencias de mi vida que pueden estar relacionadas con lo que estemos hablando en clase, el hablarles desde quien soy, en lugar desde lo que el currículo quiere que yo les diga a ellos. Y con esto no quiero decir que los scope and sequence no son necesarios, o los protocolos, o los sistemas en general, pero lo que quiero decir es que deberíamos permitirnos un poco más el dejar de ser tan críticos con nosotros mismos para pasar a humanizarnos en nuestro rol. Ese es mi rol, humanizarnos día a día. ¿Y cómo lo hacemos? Cuando nos preguntamos si permitimos que ellos nos conozcan como la persona que somos, en lugar de poner una barrera estricta entre el rol estudiante-profesor. Lo permitimos cuando tomamos acción desde la creatividad, cuando les dejamos que sus respuestas tengan creatividad y no solamente esperamos que su respuesta sea la que nosotros queremos escuchar a cambio. Permitimos también cuando damos espacio al arte, a la música, a la imaginación. Y la lista puede continuar, pero en última, solo en manos de cada uno de nosotros, solo con la intención que ponemos en nuestro corazón cada mañana cuando salimos de casa, cada vez que entramos al salón. Solo allí está nuestra posibilidad de aflojar las ataduras de nuestras estructuras y sistemas para permitirnos que la creatividad pueda bailar en ellas. Muchas gracias.
Muchísimas gracias, Lady. It takes a lot to come up here. Toma mucho para venir acá y contar tu historia. Le agradecemos mucho a Lady por ser la primera en setting the tone for us. I'm gonna have one of our very beloved teacher. You're not a fellow anymore, right? Okay, one of our teacher fellows, she has something to say to you all, and then we'll continue with our speakers.
Okay, can everybody say buenas noches? Okay, everybody feels so tense, so if I can have three men pick up these three chairs and put them here, and everybody gotta move forward, like don't feel so tight. Vengan pa'lante, yes. Voy a hacer, sí, por favor, gracias. Porque se ve muy tenso. Allá atrás en la bar, come up, don't be shy. If you're not sitting, just sit. Yes, we're gonna have people sit here, feel comfortable. If you're a child, come forward, don't be shy.
Y mientras nos vamos moviendo, feel free to move your chair, you know, vamos a darle un aplauso a this wonderful venue, el Tamarindo Food. Yo vi esas pupusas y se me hizo agua la boca. Yes, please, thank you so much. Please come up to the front. Hay otras sillas acá, muy buenas sillas allá, wonderful. Vamos a seguir con las historias. We have Ward 6 is heavy in the house today. Can we give it up for Ward 6? All the way from Shirley Chisholm Elementary School, we have not just a classroom teacher, we have someone from the higher ups, okay? We have an assistant principal in the house. Come on, you gotta clap loud. Su nombre es Sara Aranz, and I'm sure you'll never forget her. Gracias, Sara, por estar aquí con nosotros.
Buenas noches. Buenas noches. Yo voy a hablar en español porque es la lengua de mi alma y la lengua que la traigo a este país. Y que estoy muy agradecida de ello. Si necesitáis traducción, grabadlo y luego lo ponéis en casa. También voy a jugar con mis gafas porque estoy en esa edad que necesito ponerme las gafas y quitármelas, ¿verdad? Alguna de ustedes me comprenderá. Yo no voy a hablar de lo que es ser un assistant principal ni de todas esas cosas aburridas. Yo voy a hablar de la gente. Porque eso es lo que me trajo aquí, la gente. Y eso es lo que hace que yo haga el trabajo que hago, la gente. Entonces lo primero que voy a decir es que estoy muy inspirada de varias personas que están aquí. Le he dicho a Jessica que le iba a poner on the spot, porque yo empecé aquí trabajando en Bancroft. Jessica Morales era mi compañera de clase y ahora es principal a Bancroft. Un aplauso para Jessica. Hay muchísima gente aquí que me rodea. Juliet, que es una maravilla, que está trabajando conmigo en Chisholm. Mi compañera y directora, Principal Jasmine Brand, que está aquí también conmigo. Y Mr. Torres. Y os digo todo eso porque al final esto es sobre las personas y sobre la gente. No es sobre los programas, no es sobre los scores, es sobre vosotros. Yo me considero una empoderadora y esto comenzó cuando era muy jovencita. Me saqué mi carrera en inglés y empecé a dar clases para ganar dinero en mi pueblo, en un pueblo en España, donde ya emigré hace más de 20 años, porque llevo más tiempo fuera de mi país. Y yo me acuerdo que estábamos enseñando español, inglés a mis estudiantes y los papás me decían, pues a lo mejor inglés no está aprendiendo mucho, pero este chico parece que te escucha cuando le das un consejo, o parece que dice, ay, pues Sara me ha dicho esto y es mejor persona. Entonces me di cuenta que conectaba con las personas. Y para mí lo que me hace llegar todos los días a mi escuela o acabar siendo donde estoy liderando es ese hecho de conectar para luego retar a la gente a ser mejores. Porque yo creo que una vez que conectas, puedo hacerte crecer. Entonces el privilegio de estar en DC Public Schools, donde vine en el 2009 a servir y donde he estado rotando en varios sitios donde se me necesita, el hecho de poder estar empoderando a personas donde empezaron como instructional aides y hoy en día son hasta directoras, me hace ver que yo vine aquí con un regalo que me dieron, soy una persona de fe, y que lo tengo que entregar. Entonces, el hecho de que me llamaran de Empower ED y me dijeran, oye, ¿quieres contar tu historia? Y yo no sé qué historia voy a contar, pero espero que la historia que os cuento es una historia que os haga sentiros inspirados, que sepáis que hay muchas personas por ahí que pueden cambiar el mundo y que ser educador no significa tener un título, significa que tú quieres entregar algo y que quieres hacer mejor este mundo. Para mí, lógicamente, mi trabajo no es mi occupation, yo digo que es mi occupation. Yo os invito a que vengáis a ver las escuelas como la nuestra, donde todos los días hay sonrisas, donde todos los días hay algún problema, pero en equipo los solventamos y al final lo que nos hace agradecer es que estamos educando en español. Y lógicamente, cuando es la lengua de nuestro alma, pues educar en mi lengua me hace estar muy orgullosa de las raíces. Y yo estoy en un tiempo en el cual yo solo quiero puentes, yo no quiero divisiones porque estoy un poco cansada. Y no voy a hablar de esas cosas feas que oímos todos los días. Yo quiero conectar con vosotros con las cosas que tenemos en común. La lengua, la cultura. Hay miles de valores principales que cuando yo hablo con mi gente en mi escuela son las que nos unen. La familia, la comida, el baile. Tú has dicho cuerpo calmado. Yo ahí cuando he dicho cuerpo he dicho bailando. Tú has dicho calmado y yo he dicho bailando. Porque al final nos gusta la música, nos gusta todas esas cosas. Yo solo os digo que aquí estoy para seguir empoderando en todo. Por último terminaré diciendo que necesitamos más líderes y necesitamos más líderes que estén saludables. Y yo siempre que cuando voy a los sitios quiero aplicar por el saludable. Y saludable empieza aquí, empieza en lo que vemos en el teléfono y sigue en muchas cosas. Yo soy una persona que me cuido mucho porque sé que si quiero servir tengo que estar saludable para poder serviros. Voy a cerrar con un poema de un poeta de mi tierra. Como os digo, yo soy de un pueblo de España donde están las plantas, las flores más bonitas del mundo, que para mí son los girasoles. El girasol siempre se gira y busca el sol, y yo creo que tengo esa correspondencia. Y yo me siento muy cercana a este poema por lo que dice. Y dice así: caminante no hay camino. Caminante, son tus huellas el camino y nada más. Caminante, no hay camino. Se hace el camino al andar. Al andar se hace el camino y al volver la vista atrás se ve la senda que nunca se ha de volver a pisar. Caminante no hay camino, sino estelas en el mar. Caminemos juntos y no mires para atrás, para adelante. Gracias.
España is a beautiful country. Beautiful. Me encanta el hablado. I can't get enough of it. Me encanta. Vamos a continuar con nuestros contadores de historia. Tenemos a un maestro all the way from Ward 4. Right? Is it Ward 4? La escuela es Shepherd Elementary School. Okay, we got some people Shepherd Elementary. His name is Jorge Delgado. Vamos a darle la bienvenida.
Buenas noches a todos. No sé si entendí muy bien lo que tenía que hacer el día de hoy, pero cuando dijeron storytelling, eso fue lo primero que me vino a la cabeza. Y cuando hice el storytelling, pensé en mis 30 años de maestro y pensé que ha sido lo mismo en las comunidades de Los Ángeles, las comunidades en Texas, en El Paso, donde trabajé, las comunidades en Puerto Rico, soy puertorriqueño. Me crié en la República Dominicana y me retiro en Colombia. Alright, so what I'm thinking about is bridges of hope, right? So we are the bridges of hope, not only for the students, but for the families. So this is how it goes. I was a brand new teacher in Los Angeles. I was 21. And I remember my principal saying, come and visit different classrooms. And one of the classrooms was a beautiful, vibrant colors. We had colorful posters, maps, student projects, the sounds of children chatting in both in English and Spanish. And it was the 1990s. The teacher that I was observing was Mr. Rodriguez, a dedicated Latino, also in his late 50s, passionate about education and community. There was a child, Maria, very bright. She was determined to that she shared with the class. Carlos was very shy. He was struggling with English, but he was eager to learn. I remember Mrs. Gonzalez, who brought the mother the mother who brought the children, and she was very supportive. She was representing kind of like a president of the immigrant community in that area of Los Angeles, San Fernando. That classroom was buzzing, 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 buzzing. There was energy everywhere. Mr. Rodriguez was standing in front of the class with a big smile. And here I am, 21 years old, with my notebook and a pen, and there was nothing for me to write, because there were no any, I mean, he has to start talking. It was like, what am I supposed to learn today? Well, as soon as all the kids started clapping, and Mr. Rodriguez said to the class, all right, today we're going to talk about our dreams. What do you want to be when you grow up? So students raise their hands, and by one, kids were saying yes. Maria, who already shared that she wanted to be a doctor, she was not shy. She jumped right away, and she said, I want to be a doctor to help my family and others in our community. That's a beautiful dream, Mr. Rodriguez told her. What about you, Carlos? Now, Carlos, remember, he doesn't speak English. So he was very, very nervous. And he says, bombero, 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 firefighter, as Mr. Rodriguez translated. He says, the boy said, I'm sorry, I don't speak English very well. So here I am seeing all this relationship between the kids, the teachers, the community, the president of the Latino community was there. And now I just looked at Carlos and I say, muy bien, muy bien, muy bien hecho. And in Spanish I say, learning a language is a journey. It's a long journey. So you have to be patient and you have to love what you do. So make sure that you always try to be clear and be honest about what you like to do in the classroom and outside with your friends and with your teachers. And he smiled, very shyly, he's very shy. The bell rang and the students began to pack up their stuff. And I'm like, okay, I don't think I can do any of this in my classroom. I'm 21, of course, I know it all, right? I have gone through education, I have every single tool, and I'm like, there's something off here. But I loved it. Deep inside, there's something warm that was just starting to come alive. Carlos said goodbye, Maria said goodbye, and she was smiling as she waved away. Mr. Gonzalez just looked at me and said, you're a new teacher, and I only want to teach you one thing. I want to teach you that the community, the parents, the children are the ones that you have to feed. Tienes que darle comida a todos, because they are the ones that are going to make your children be successful. It's not you. You can bring all that pedagogy that you're going to teach, but it is the community, the parents, and the children together with you that are going to make successful. And that stayed with me for the 30 years that I have now as an educator. I think he looked one more time, and he looked out at the sunset and said, you're going to be okay. And he was right. He was right. Thank you.
I'm sure if you're hearing these stories, you're like, I have a story, that probably reminds you of something. We're going to hear from one more speaker, and then we're going to have the band come up, and I'll give you a chance to kind of just talk about your band after this next speaker. We're going to have, let's see, his name is Marco Moreno. Woo! And Marco Moreno is coming all the way from Goodwill Excel Center in Wood. Freddy Torres. Sorry, we switched it out. Okay, great. We have Freddy Torres coming out all the way from Shirley Chisholm as well in Ward 6. Give it up, give it up.
Hola, hola. ¿Cómo están? Bueno, si me escuchan, digan, aquí estoy. Si me escuchan, digan, qué guapo ese señor. Por un momento, solo es para hacerles reír. Ok, vamos a hacer un ejercicio antes de empezar. ¿Qué les parece? Quiero pedirles un favor. We're going to do something very quickly. Close your eyes for a hot second. And take a deep breath in. And then out, very gently. Now I'm going to challenge you to do something. Keep your eyes closed. And go back 25 years, maybe 30. Go back to that little child, maybe 7, 8 years old. And think about maybe one dream. One thing that you had in your heart, in your mind. And see how far you've come. Maybe you've reached that dream. Maybe, like we've heard tonight, you're still on that journey, reaching it. But I want to tell you, with my hope tonight is that you're able to just know that your legacy is still being written. And whether you're halfway of that journey or you're all the way there enjoying it, every day is a chance to continue to write it. Y yo lo voy a hacer en inglés, tal vez un poquito de Spanish en algún momento. Y disculpen por favor que mi memoria no me da para recordar todo lo que escribí, así que voy a usar el teléfono para ver mis notas. When I was 8 years old, in a small public school in Quito, Ecuador, all the way in South America, I began speaking a language that only I could understand. I was an expert in what I proudly called English, though really it was just my own gibberish. I pretended so well that even my classmates and friends started to believe in me. And to be honest, even more importantly, I believed it. The deep desire to see my grandmother again, who had left Ecuador to live and work in the United States, and the fixed idea of my young mind that language was the bridge that would bring me back to her was for sure my biggest inspiration. Back then, I would have never imagined the immense power that words and languages would have in my life. A few years later, in 1992, I finally arrived in New Jersey. By then, I was convinced that I spoke English. The only problem was that my classmates did not quite agree with me. I would see the puzzled looks on their faces when I talked to them. Yet, then came Mr. Flores, my 5th grade teacher, a Nicaraguan immigrant. He reassured me and whispered to my ear that he could understand every single word I noted. That encouragement gave me the courage to keep going. Within weeks, through the games and laughter of my classmates, I began to truly communicate. This time, people actually understood me, and it felt like I was flying. With time, I understood something profound. When you speak the native tongue of another country, you gain a unique passcode, a key that unlocks belonging, connection, and opportunity. Those years with Mr. Flores really carved my worldview forever. Surrounded by my classmates from Puerto Rico, Peru, Colombia, Africa, Italy, and Portugal, I learned that language is much more than words, but it's a bridge to humanity and a bridge to connection. Today, it is just my turn to give back. As a bilingual educator in Washington, DC, I want my students, many of them immigrants, or children of immigrants, to feel the same spark of possibility. I want them to discover the power in their voices, to know that their identity and language are not obstacles but treasures. And every time a student dares to speak up, every time they share a story in Spanish or in English or in any other language, I see myself in them. I am reminded of a little boy in Quito who once invented a language just to hold on to hope. To my fellow educators and to my fellow Latinos in every profession, your work, your presence, your story is powerful. Many times we are overlooked or underestimated, but your impact is invaluable. Whether you are teaching in a classroom, serving in healthcare, leading a government, playing in a band, singing a song in a music band, running a business, or serving drinks or food in a beautiful restaurant like this one. I want to tell you, you are raising a family because of your love, your sacrifice, and your courage. And others will have doors open for them because of what you do and what you have shown them. Our children and communities will one day travel the globe, try new foods, care about others' realities, and open their hearts to people different from themselves. And they will do it because of what you have shown them through your actions and your acts of service. Your legacy is still being written every single day in your workplaces, in your neighborhoods, in our families. And perhaps one day, someone will stand in a place like this and tell their story about the courage to dream and their Latino teacher who believed in him and in the power of his words. Esta es mi historia. Ahora te toca a ti compartir la tuya.
Okay, thank you so much, Freddie. That was incredible. Can we get another round of applause for everyone who's spoken already? For those of you that don't know me, my name is Caroline Pryor. I am the Director of Policy and Power Building at Empower Ed. I'm very, very, very proud to be part of this community. I want to share a few ways that you all can get involved. So raise your hand if you are an educator in this room. It should be most people. Excellent. Raise your hand if you believe in teacher voice. We should all believe in teacher voice. That should be every hand here. So teacher voice, we know, is really, really critical to actually making sure that we have just systems in DC. And we believe in educational justice, and we believe that empowering teachers is the way to do that. So if you want to get involved with us, we have a ton of opportunities coming up. We have an educator organizing summit on November 8th. We would love to see everybody in this room there. We have a ton of opportunities as well to testify, to go to city council, to tell our state board what you all need. And there are a ton of other ways as well to build power in your schools and build power in your communities. We really value building spaces like this that are spaces of community and working on solidarity across the city. So if you want to be part of this movement, we would love to have you. We are always looking to grow. And we do have, Dominique mentioned, a teacher action survey, so please fill that out. If you want to be part of our mailing list and you are not already, we have a sign-up list outside. Please go ahead and sign up. And we would love to see you all there and be part of this movement for teacher voice in DC. I'm going to pass it to the band to share a little bit about what you all are doing. And thank you again, everyone, for being here. Carlos?
Buenas noches. Good evening, everybody. My name is Carlui Brower, and I have the band with me, Nomads. I have Mr. Murillo, Melvin Murillo, and Orlando Sanchez. We're teachers from Langdon Elementary School. This is a band that started fairly recent, I would say about a year and some change, and we have been enjoying ourselves, enjoying our time when we're performing at school events. And to be honest, this is our first outside of a school type of event where we're having a lot of different faces looking at us and enjoying our time with us too. So please continue to enjoy our music, and I hope you like the next song that we're about to play with you, Nómadas, once again. The song that we're about to sing right now is called Afuera, Outside. Afuera is by a band, Mexican band. I started learning this song a couple months ago, and I realized that this song came out when I was 2 years old. So I was just learning to walk and learning how to say phrases when this song came out, and now I'm here in front of you singing it, and I hope you enjoy it. You can join us with the afuera part. You can say afuera with power. Sus años uno cree que caer es levantarse y de repente que no te paras, que el amor es temporal y que todo te puede pasar y de repente estás muy solo. Afuera tú no existes, solo dentro. Afuera no te cuido, solo dentro. Afuera, qué baratamiento sin dudarlo. Afuera, nadie es nada, solo dentro. Siguen los años y uno está creyendo que puede besar y de repente ya te perdiste. Y uno cree que puede creer y tener todo el poder y de repente no tienes nada. ¿Qué venimos de afuera? Afuera, afuera tú no existes, solo dentro. Afuera, afuera no te cuido, solo dentro. Afuera, el desbaratamiento sin dudarlo. Afuera, nadie es nada, solo dentro. Afuera, afuera tú no existes, solo dentro. Afuera, afuera no te cuido, solo dentro. Afuera, eres baratamiento sin dudarlo. Afuera, nadie es nada, solo dentro. Thank you, muchas gracias.
Wow, 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 wow. Okay, vamos a seguir, vamos a seguir. We have more storytellers. We're very excited. There is, I think there's some food left. Yes, pupusas. There are pupusas left. If you are just joining us, you're coming in, you're still hungry, you're welcome to have more food. Vamos a darle la bienvenida to another one of our speakers, and her name is Ingrid Garcia. She's coming from Academy of Hope Adult Public Charter School. So let us please make welcome Ingrid Garcia.
Hey everybody! How y'all doing today? It's been a little bit of a week, you know? I feel like for 2025, at this point, if you'd have told me that there's a chupacabra on New York Avenue, I would believe you. I'd be like, what is he wearing? I named him Pedro, too. I like naming things. It scares me. So, my name is Ingrid Garcia. I'm a writer, educator, an editor as well. I've taught at high school. I teach for the University of the District of Columbia. I also teach at Academy of Hope Public Charter School as a GED instructor. You know, mommy told me, vete a trabajar, and I was like, I'm on it, okay? Don't worry. I took it a little bit too personally. Next year, I'll be celebrating 10 years in education. That's great. That's how y'all feel. Sometimes I feel that too, but I get a little bit tired. And it's been a really rewarding job, and something that has always been a little bit challenging is that I've always tended to be the only Latina in the room. So when I was nominated here, I was like, is this for real? Is a real thing? Because whenever I'm invited to a professional event, I'm always looking at last names, okay? I'm like, oh, Rodriguez, yes, there's another Latina. And I go there, they end up being Filipino. And I was like, you know what, that's all right. Well, you can come hang out with me. When I taught high school, I have this story that I will never ever forget. I'm very passionate when I teach. I'm full of pasión, you know, I get really excited about inequity, civil rights, voting. So I'm over here, you know, teaching my heart out, telling them about, look, listen, Martin Luther King, great guy, you should read him, he's great. And my student, the youth, I call anybody under the age of 25 the youth, because they don't wear tacones anymore, they don't wear heels going out, so they're the youth, they're teenagers. So one of my students looks at me, you know, because they struggle with eye contact too, looks at me dead in the eye, right? I'm over here talking about MLK, I'm so excited. He looks at me and he says, Miss G, what you know about that? You white? I was like, wait, hold on. Who's white? I was like, is there another Miss G somewhere I don't know about? Maybe there's another one, I don't know. And I was like, all right, cool. All right, let's go with that, right? And then I see all the other students start to nod. You know, they're nodding. And I'm like, wait a minute. How many, all right, wait, hold on. Let's hold on. So I asked them, all right, raise your hand if you think that I am white. And all I saw was this. And I was like, you know what, we gotta, hold on, forget the curriculum. Listen. I was like, first of all right, cool, you know, apparently Miss Garcia that went over the head. So I was like, all right, talk to me, right? What makes you think that I'm white? And they go, well, Miss Garcia, you're super pale. And I was like, okay, fine. You know, the color that I get in Panama is you know, a couple shades darker. It's not my fault that the sun here somehow doesn't operate the same. That's all right. So I was like, all right, cool. Anybody else? And they're like, well, Miss Garcia, you don't have an accent. And I was like, oh, I have to have an accent. Oh, okay. All right, well, get your notebooks out, because today you're going to learn about where Panama is. You know, I had to do a lot of corrections. People were like, it's an island. I'm like, no, that's Puerto Rico. Starts also with a P. Very good. One of my other students goes, yo, like, my cousin goes to Panama all the time. And I was like, oh, this is great, okay. Where in Panama? Oh yeah, like we drive there. And I was like, I mean, you can drive to Panama. I don't recommend it. It is a very long drive, but okay. And I was like, wait a minute, where in Panama? You know, Florida. I was like, no, Panama City, Florida, it's not the same as Panama. And I say all that because I feel like in my younger years, I was very into putting my Latina-ness in the background, right? I think our society really pushes us to not be Latina, right? To not speak Espanol and tell people, ¿Cómo estás? No, you can't do that here. And so I had to really, that moment also really taught me, you know what, I need to be able to tell my story to my educators, to my students, and be like, listen, my name is Mrs. Garcia, I am from Panama, I was born there, and I think it really created a wonderful moment of teaching, right? It created a wonderful moment where I think the classroom is such a safe space, and I think the classroom is one of those very few times that we get to ask all these questions, right? And it hit me that for a lot of my learners, I am the first Latina that they've ever really even talked to, much less had these very vulnerable moments with, and that really stayed with me. And I feel like, you know, we are so misrepresented sometimes in the media. You know, there's all these constructs about what we are and what we're not. And so to be in education, specifically as a Latina, means a lot because it allows you to get that bridge between the youth and share your culture, share your heritage, share your language, tell them the abuela stories and the chupacabra stories and all the things that they traumatized us with when we were kids. And it's just a really great moment. And so I feel like representation, especially as a Latina, is a very special thing. And now I'm like, listen, this is I'm gonna get a whole t-shirt that says, I'm Latina. Thank you.
Gracias, Ivy. Thank you so much for telling your story. And I love the animation. It's something about Spanish people. I feel like we're so dramatic, right? You know, we put a lot of our personality into things. We're going to make welcome a gentleman by the name of Marco Moreno. He is from Goodwill Excel Center, Ward 2. And he's going to get comfy, so thank you.
All right, hello. Mi nombre es Marco Moreno. I am a high school educator here in by the White House. So we're an adult public charter high school. So students who didn't finish high school get to come back and get their high school diploma. Yes, so I've been there for several years. I want to give a shout out to my colleagues who came out to support. Pero yo, yes, my wife. I will be talking about her. I'm originally from Anaheim, California, West Coast. But I grew up in Mexico. My first language was Spanish. And we moved to Southern California when I was about 10. And I remember a good teacher helping me transition to adopt English. I love in Spanish, but I think in English. And I think that's very meaningful. ¿Qué más? I did something like this a few years ago when I was in graduate school, and as I was reflecting what to bring, Donald Trump had just been elected the first time. And I remember some of my friends being aware about the immigration policies that were sort of going on at that first time. And as I read some of those stories in preparation for this, I was like, hey, some of those immigration policies have even gotten tougher this second term. But I am here specifically because I'm not that person anymore who was a revolutionary educator who wanted to act out every day by being an activist. I've gotten married and I'm very happy. I'm gonna be a dad soon. And we're thinking about buying a home. So I'm doing these things that I never imagined an educator to do, but I think much more of those values of an educator are much more in how I engage in my teaching, but I live out my days with my family and friends, and I'm very happy. I did not know that that's what being a teacher entailed. So yeah, that was one that I wanted to sort of share out. I think a lot of Latinos here in DC have gone back home to the West Coast that I've come to meet in DC. They miss their families, they miss the culture, the ones that I've come in contact with. So I've found it hard encontrar comunidad. I volunteer at the Latino Museum. I've tried to find institutions and businesses where I can feel that connection, but I think ultimately DC for me personally and our family, you have to be very specific as to where you look to find that connection. But I love it here so far. Hoping to close out the decade till 2030 in this area. But I do miss being around LA, being around institutions where you get code switched so fast. You could enter so many different spaces with Asian Americans, Pacific Islanders. Not that you can't find that here, it's just the amount of institution, financial power that some of those communities have in Southern California or Northern California is just powerful. But I've enjoyed getting to know the history of African Americans in this part of the city and the nearby towns, and I hope to always carry that with me as wherever I go. Yeah, I think that's something that I wanted to carry with me when I leave DC as an educator. Hopefully tell. I wasn't taught many African American leaders when I went to school in Southern California, and I hope that when I do, I can sort of show that to the students in California. And to the students here, I have to, similar to like our previous speaker, have to show, where's Puerto Rico? How is that a U.S. territory? How has that sort of come about? So it's a lot of training and patience that comes with those moments, and not to take it personally, but to also be like, hey, you need to sit down and watch some dancing or whatever it may be, or feel it. But that's what I wanted to say. Muchas gracias, and power.
Awesome stories. I feel like there's not enough time in the world to really share all that it is to be a Latino educator. I'm gonna make welcome our last scheduled speaker. If while this last speaker is telling their story, you feel compelled, like I have a story, I want to say something, just give me a wave, and we can call you up right after our next speaker. So I'm going to make welcome. I'm going to make welcome Karin Garcia. I'm gonna let her introduce herself because she does a lot. Thank you, Karin.
Hey y'all! This is my first time doing spoken word here in DC, so I appreciate the vibe. My name is Karin Garcia. I immigrated here from Peru. My family actually immigrated to Mobile, Alabama, all the way down south. And my dad actually chose to go there because there was a big undocumented population. Because we worked over at the construction at the roads and bridges. Because of that big undocumented population, there was a governor at the time, I'll never forget his name, Governor Brantley, and he made a law saying that the teachers had to start reporting if the students had social security numbers or not, if they're undocumented. So for about a couple of months, I didn't go to school, and my kids drove through with my family, and because of that, that lit a fire in me, and now I work to support multilingual students in DCPS as a career. We have a lot of teachers and counselors. One of them, Monica Sanchez, actually worked with students at McKinley Tech to do a fundraiser for their multilingual students where they made bracelets. One of them says happy here. And one of them that we made said "Si se puede," and the bracelet actually broke, and me and the students worked to put it back together again. So this poem is based on that story. Si se puede. So the bracelet broke, the string undone, beads scattered like fire at the rise of the sun. And for a breath, I thought of the way we are torn, by borders drawn and systems worn. How power rewrites what we've begun. They try to break us one by one. But then our hands, patient and true, gather the pieces that they could not undo. We lift each letter they'd hoped would fade, thread resistance from what they frayed. Letter by letter, we spelled it clear. Si se puede, we're still here. We rebuilt not in gold, but in grit. Tied tighter knots, refused to quit. We whisper in Spanish, Quechua, and song. We've been here forever. We still belong. Our fight survives each time it's crossed. It rises again, no matter the cost. It tells the silence we will not grieve. Si se puede, we refuse to leave.
Who's tearing up? I see you. I'm tearing up for sure. You know, we have a lot of things going on in our district around this time. We can talk about many things, but we're here, right? And we are here to lift up our voices. We're here to uplift each other. We're here to shine forth the glory of being Latino. Yes? Thank you all so much. Your presence here means so much to us, to the community, to Empower Ed. It means so much to those who are sitting in a seat of decision making in this district. We want to hear your voices. We want to hear more from you. If there's anyone who is burning passionately to tell a story, now is the time. If you'd like to, you could just lift up your hand. I could have you come up front. Yes, awesome. I was gonna bust out my stories, but you are more than welcome. Please give us your name, introduce yourself, and maybe like 4 minutes.
First of all, I like to speak actually Spanish, but I need to make sure everybody knows most Spanish. Can you raise your hand just to know, kind of, if you speak Spanish, hablas español? Bueno, son like a little bit people. Okay, but it's not for me. Okay, I try my best. I've been living in USA for a few years, not too long to be a like really good speaker, English speaker, so I try my best. Don't judge me for it. The really quick story about what the reason I came here. I wasn't sure why, like when I became a teacher. I never wanted to be a teacher. Like seriously, it was the last thing I want to be, or not be, like work on, because we're always being somewhere, right? So whatever. I don't want to be a teacher, but my mom like, you couldn't get into the university trying this and this and this. Like, you'll be spending like so many years, so what are you gonna do now? The only thing I can give you, or like try to help you in some way for you to study something, is like, you know, being a teacher. She's a teacher, so I became a teacher. I'm like, okay, well, okay, here I am. Then what? And then is when everything started. First of all, I got 2 children, which actually made me feel who the teacher I am. If you have children, you know better that probably, in my opinion, my experience made me more like patient person, especially when you have taught kids. So, and then now I love what I do. I just love what I do every single day. I just want to be around kids and be myself, being honest, and I don't know, just enjoy my life. That's it.
Now you can hope. I know. Thank you.
I wasn't expecting it. I said to myself that I'll be an observer, a student, and all of a sudden I have the mic on my head. So I'm gonna try my best. My name is Cosme. I teach water safety, aka swimming, but it's water safety to third graders. I teach in Southeast at HD Woodson. So if you have your third graders swimming at any point throughout the year, they're swimming with me. All right. So, and I use water as an element of conduction of energies so they can face themselves. To me, I'm tired of using education to grow consciousness towards labor and not to life. Education is the tip of a spear for a consciousness to evolve. If we multiply that throughout the planet, we're talking about not only a community, we're talking about societies, and therefore the planet. So when the consciousness grows, and the ego overcomes the consciousness, because it's based on a self-realization, on materialism, and it turns into politics, it affects that consciousness that tries to reach inwards. So when we create an environment based on competition and individualism, sadly to say, we have a lack of space to be ourselves, and then be guided by fear, by greedy, by hate. So to me, swimming, teaching swimming as a physical education teacher for DCBS is like my opportunity to stay in education, because I believe in humanity. So actually I want to use my space to encourage everyone respecting each and everyone's souls and free will, because I believe that free will is divine. We can take the horse to the river, right? But we cannot make him drink water, right? So I will suggest that your position is a position to suffice light, to give love, and to show the way of how we can respect each other. It's a way that we can not only help them to connect with themselves, but to also develop right relationships, to understand the environment that we sadly created, because it's part of our responsibilities to or either go and vote or share social issues, or even more like create solutions to our actual social issues, right? And it starts right there. So whenever you stand in front of a student, you're not standing in front of someone who's like 8, 5, 10, 12, 15 years old. That is a future consciousness that will be active in society. So teach with love, teach with respect. But when I say teach, I will say show love, show respect, which is also hard because of the way we're living, right? Social pressure, economic pressure, and so on. I don't want to invest my energies on that side. I just want to stay on the side of light. So in those terms, use this space. Be vocal. Not outside of your comfortable zone. And I'm not saying like being lazy. Totally the opposite. Try to help from whatever your skills let you, right? And then connect with others and share those same energies. Because sharing and cooperation will be our future only options to change things around. Think about it. Humanity had chose to change through conflict. When we are going to create that opportunity so we can choose to not get into a conflict. And I don't know about you guys, but what's coming, it's coming. What's coming is coming. People are starting to make like human shields around immigrants so ICE can come on and snatch them, right? So think about that violence that could come out from that situation just by trying to do the good thing. So teaching, it's a powerful tool. So again, show love, plant that seed of cooperation, and be an example. Lead by example, all right? Much love.
I want to first give a big shout out to all the teachers and the parents in the room. How difficult and how much time and substance it is to have children see them grow. And to be honest, because of that reason, I don't have any kids, nor am I a teacher. I still appreciate, I volunteer, I still try to do what I can. My name is Dr. Oye Owolewa. I'm the U.S. representative in Washington, D.C., but that's just what I do. That's not who I am. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a child of African immigrant parents from a really quiet, obscure, very modest country called Nigeria. And more importantly, I grew up in the United States, I was born in the United States, and I don't speak my language, and I always had that conflict of who am I really? And I butted heads with my parents, and I never really figured out who I was until a few years ago, where I discovered my story. And that's what I want to talk about a little bit today. I went home with my dad to look at his home story, to film his life story, go to his school, go to his church, go to all these things growing up with, because he was a little bit older, but he's still here. His friend's a little bit older, but they're still here. And learning about his life story allowed me to learn about my life story. It allowed me to really think about learning outside of a textbook and the whole experience of someone growing up. So I came back here with a renewed focus, getting young people to vision their stories and get them to where they travel and understand that DC is an international city. And with people in this room that look like me, people in this room that come from our backgrounds, just know that you guys are the true gems of DC. And you guys are going to be the reason why DC improves. It's not just the mayor, not just the council, not just me, but you guys are the true representatives. So I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you all for supporting young people, because at the end of the day, they're no longer tomorrow's leaders. They're leaders of today. They have phones, they have access to information, and with your tutelage and with your guidance, they can make the best decisions. I want to thank you again for having me. My name is Dr. Oye Owolewa, the U.S. representative in Washington, D.C. Most importantly, I'm a fan of you guys. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. See, everybody in this room is important. We are here to hear each other's stories. We are so excited. We are reaching the end of our program here. I'm just going to invite Caroline up to say a few words regarding our fellowship. If you're interested in becoming a fellow, Caroline will tell you what that is all about.
Thank you. I feel bad that I'm speaking twice, but I want to start with, if you felt affirmed and held by community today, can we hear a round of applause? If you felt inspired to exercise your teacher voice outside of this place, can I hear it? I want to hear more. I want to hear more. So we would love, as Jacqueline said, we would love to have some more fellows. We are still accepting fellow applications for our school year 25-26, because it is really important that our fellowship core looks like our students. And so we really want to make sure that we are platforming Black and brown teachers, and that is something that we are inspired to do today. So if you would like to become a fellow, it is an excellent experience. You get to know the halls of power. You get to advocate for what you want. You get to build campaigns, design campaigns around what your school needs, around what your students need, around what your peers need. We fight for elevating the teaching profession, we fight for addressing root causes of educational inequity, and we fight for improving the student experiences here in DC. If that is something that you want to be a part of, it's really exciting. We take you directly to the policymakers in the city, and they learn you. They get to know your voice, they get to know what you advocate for, they get to know what you stand for. If you want to be part of that experience, it's really exciting. We meet once a month on Tuesdays. We all get together in community, and then we fight through the year for the things that we are passionate about. It's a great way to be part of the movement. So if you want to be part of that, please come find me, come find Jackie, come find anyone in a blue t-shirt. Sorry, Dieter. But we would love to have you. If you are a fellow, I see a couple here. If you are a fellow or a former fellow, can you raise your hand? We got a couple. Andrea. We would love to have you. We would love to have some more people join us. So I hope folks are excited and ready to engage. And again, thank you all for being here. As Dominique says, it's a weeknight. It's a lot to come out and be in community, but we're so glad that you're here with us. And thank you for making this event just such a huge success. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. If you're like me and you have 1,000,001 things on your plate, you're probably thinking, I don't have time for a fellowship. Take it from me, a former fellow. You have time. The Empower Ed does a great job at just doing the work for you and making sure that we plug you in to the right places. So all you need to do is show up and speak your voice. Okay? So I can advocate for that for sure. Just letting you guys know that. Lastly, as we're closing out, I would like to thank our sponsors. This wonderful event has been sponsored by some organizations, and we have the DC Latino Caucus. We have Jackie here from the DC Latino Caucus, and you're doing some work with them. If you want to be on their mailing list, you want to get involved, ask some questions, what is even the DC Latino Caucus? You can totally see Jackie on your way out. And we also had a wonderful surprise of a sponsorship. There's a church in our community that's found out about this event and said, hey, I also want to sponsor something towards this event, and that is Christ Embassy DC, Washington DC, and you can definitely give a wave and a thank you to Pastor Daniel, who decided to chip into this event. Did you want to say something? Come on, Jackie wants to say a few words. She's Jackie, I'm also Jackie.
Hi everyone. Hi Scott. I know you're watching from Mexico. Thank you for having me. I am the chair and president of the DC Latino Caucus. I very much care and am in awe of this organization. I am also a proud product of DCPS. Born and raised here in DC, so I know how hard it is for a lot of educators in the city to just really get the type of resources needed to have their voices heard. I've experienced it and I witnessed it. It's part of the reason why I kind of went into the education route too, but still am inspired by them, and why we're here today. And the Latino Caucus, we're still trying to get more involved with our educators here in DC. That's why we got Dieter on board with us. But if you're also interested and would like to learn more about what we do and how to get involved, actually, you basically said what we do also, but Empower Ed does it. We also do that on our own, but we also do it to support the Latino community in DC and more. So if you'd like to learn more, please just come up and talk to us. But I really just want to say thank you, and thank you for having us. And you all are such amazing people. I don't know how you do it each and every day, but thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So we are closing out our event. You're welcome to get more food, get stuff from the bar. We're going to call up our band, who's just going to play a song to close us out. Remember, if you want to join our mailing list, you want to join our fellows, you just want more information, you want to get involved, you want to donate, whatever it is, to stay connected with Empower Ed, we have some blue t-shirt people waiting right outside this door as you exit. We're not kicking you out, we're just saying enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you so much. We love you, Scott.
Maybe you know this one, maybe you don't. Si la saben, pueden cantarla con nosotros. If you know this one, you can sing it with us. gracias. Thank you for your support tonight. Thank you for listening to us. Hope for you to listen to us in another occasion. Buenas noches.
Stand the crowd one more time. Stand